Some people seem almost immune to the chaos around them. Life throws curveballs, unexpected problems, harsh words, failed plans, and yet they stay grounded, calm, unshaken. But how is that? What do they know that you don't? Most people live in reaction mode. Someone cuts them off in traffic, rage. A coworker makes a passive-aggressive remark, their whole mood is ruined. A stranger gives them a weird look, and suddenly self-doubt creeps in. But what if you could break free from all of it? What if nothing, no person, no situation, no external force had the power to shake you ever again? In ancient Greece, there was a philosopher named Epictetus. Born a slave, he later gained his freedom and became one of the leading figures of Stoicism, a philosophy that teaches the importance of distinguishing between what is within our control and what is not. Epictetus taught that while we cannot control external events or other people's actions, we can control our own thoughts, judgments, and reactions. According to him, true freedom and peace come from mastering this inner realm. He believed that most people are prisoners, not of their circumstances, but of their own reactions. This idea that our inner response is the key to peace has been echoed by many thinkers throughout history. If someone ignores you and you feel hurt, it's because some part of you still seeks external approval or validation. That's why two people can face the exact same situation and react completely differently. It's never truly about what happens outside, it's about what's happening inside you. Epictetus taught that our suffering doesn't come from external events themselves, but from the judgments we make about them. Every irritation, frustration, or emotional reaction is a reflection of our own beliefs and expectations. By becoming aware of this, we gain the power to choose how to interpret and respond to life's challenges. Yet, most people avoid facing these inner triggers. They push them down, ignore them, or blame outside forces for how they feel. But those who awaken to a deeper truth understand something powerful. The world outside is simply a mirror of what's going on within. Once you grasp this, you gain a remarkable power, the ability to shape your experience by mastering yourself. Most people shy away from their emotional triggers. They try to hush the discomfort, push it out of mind, or blame others for how they feel. But those who truly awaken discover a powerful truth. The world outside is a mirror reflecting what's happening within. When you grasp this, you unlock a profound ability, the power to shape your experience by mastering your inner self. The problem is, many aren't ready to face this reality. They prefer to point fingers at their boss, their ex, circumstances, or just plain bad luck for their pain. It's easier to believe life is unfair than to accept they might be handing these things control over their emotions. But for those brave enough to look inward, to stop blaming and start observing, a new kind of freedom becomes possible. And here's the best part. When you stop reacting emotionally, you stop being a prisoner to outside forces. You don't need to avoid difficult people or micromanage every situation. Instead, you become steady, untouchable by chaos. Not numb or disconnected, but calm and grounded. This is the paradox of control and surrender. Many spend their lives trying to control what's beyond their reach. They crave approval, predictability, and for things to go exactly as planned. When they don't, they suffer, feeling anger when disrespected, pain when betrayed, frustration when life veers off course. They take it all personally, as if the universe is testing them unfairly. But here's the truth. Nothing external is truly within your control. The only thing you can govern is how you perceive it. The world itself is neutral, neither good nor bad, kind nor cruel. It just is. What makes it feel positive or negative is the lens through which you view it. Imagine this. Two people go through the same breakup, the same loss, the same failure. One crumbles, feeling lost and hopeless. The other sees it as a lesson, a stepping stone to growth. The difference isn't in what happened, it's in how they interpret it. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. This means that as long as you remain unaware of the stories you tell yourself about people, success, or your own worth, you will continue reacting blindly, believing life is happening to you, rather than realizing it's all happening because of you. Here's where things get interesting. The more you try to control the outside world, the more control it has over you. The moment you need a colleague to respect you, they hold power over you. The moment you need a project to go a certain way, it controls you. The moment you insist life must be fair, you set yourself up for disappointment. But once you release this illusion of control, everything changes. Suddenly you're free. Free from the craving for approval. Free from the fear of failure. Free from the exhausting effort to bend the world to your will. Think about it. The people who remain truly untouchable aren't those who command everything around them. They are the ones who master themselves. They stay calm amid chaos, unaffected by insults, unshaken by uncertainty. They possess a knowledge many do not. Control is an illusion. The moment you stop chasing it, you become truly powerful. And here's the paradox. When you stop demanding that things go your way, they often do. When you stop fearing others' judgments, you naturally grow confident. When you stop desperately chasing success, opportunities come to you effortlessly. When you stop resisting life and start flowing with it, everything seems to align. This isn't just philosophy, it's neuroscience. Studies show that the more we obsess over controlling something, whether it's a person, an outcome, or even our own thoughts, the more resistance we create. This is why those desperate for love repel it, why those terrified of failure sabotage themselves, and why those clinging to control feel the most powerless. So the real question is, are you living in reaction, or are you in control of your perception? Once you understand that nothing outside of you can have power over you without your consent, life becomes a very different game. This is the untouchable mind, how to remain unshaken by anything. Imagine this. You're at work or school, focused on a task, when a coworker or classmate suddenly criticizes you sharply, saying something like, "You don't know what you're doing," or "You'll never get this right." Pause for a moment. What happens inside you then? Most people react instantly. Their heart races, anger flares, or they replay the insult repeatedly in their minds, fueling frustration and self-doubt. Now, imagine a different response. Complete stillness. No emotional spike, no reaction. Just a calm thought. That has nothing to do with me. This is the essence of what Epictetus, the Stoics, understood deeply. Nothing outside you can disturb your peace unless you give it permission. But why do most people get affected? Because they identify with a false self, a fragile mental construct built on opinions, approval, and attachment to specific outcomes. That's why they react so strongly when challenged. This insight lies at the heart of what Epictetus, the Stoics, and Zen masters taught. Nothing external can shake your inner peace unless you allow it. So, why do so many people lose their calm? It's because they tie their identity to a fragile sense of self, one built on others' opinions, constant validation, and rigid expectations. When these are threatened, their sense of stability crumbles, triggering intense emotional reactions. Men are disturbed not by events, but by their opinion about events. It's not just an insult that stings, it's what that insult challenges inside you. It's not the words themselves, but the part of you that fears they might be true. Epictetus, like many Stoics, taught that external events are neutral. It's our interpretation that gives them weight. When you're shaken, it's not because of what someone said, it's because something within you responded to it. If a coworker criticizes your work and it cuts deep, ask yourself, is it the comment, or is it your own doubts being exposed? If someone disrespects you, does your anger come from them or from your need to feel seen? If things fall apart and you unravel emotionally, is it the situation, or is it your attachment to how it should have gone? The outside world isn't the enemy. The friction comes from within. Power doesn't lie in silencing others or making everything go smoothly. Power comes from building a mind that stays steady no matter what's happening around it. A mind that doesn't crumble without applause. A mind that doesn't rely on circumstances for peace. Because real control begins and ends with how you interpret what happens, not what happens itself. Emotional reactions are not fixed. They're learned. The brain builds habits. The more often you let emotions take the wheel, the stronger those reactions become. But here's the upside. Those patterns can be rewired. With self-awareness, reframing, and stepping into discomfort rather than avoiding it, you can train yourself to respond differently. Slowly, criticism stops cutting. Failure stops defining. Uncertainty stops controlling you. It's not because the world is softer, it's because you've become stronger. There's a strange illusion most of us live under. We think we're reacting to others, when in truth, we're reacting to ourselves. Someone throws a careless comment your way, and you tense up. But stop and notice. Where's the pain actually coming from? It's not in the sound of their voice. It's in what it awakens inside you. Unresolved doubt, a buried insecurity, a story you've never questioned. Epictetus also said, "No one can harm you unless you allow it." Imagine looking into a mirror and seeing it frown. You wouldn't blame the glass, you'd check your own face. Yet when life reflects something uncomfortable back at us, we blame the mirror. We try to fix the world instead of looking inward. But the real problem isn't what's being shown, it's how tightly we're clinging to our self-image, our expectations, our attachments. And this brings us to the real source of emotional instability: attachment. When your identity is wrapped up in praise, status, outcomes, or being understood, you become fragile. You're tossed around by every shift in the wind. But imagine you stopped chasing control. Imagine, instead of constantly reacting, you simply observed. That's not apathy, it's strength, emotional independence, the ability to witness your emotions without being owned by them. Think of a storm raging across the sky. Thunder roars, winds howl, but above it all, the open sky remains untouched. That's who you are, the sky, not the storm, the calm behind the chaos. And once you grasp that, everything shifts. Because when you stop trying to control the uncontrollable, you begin to influence everything. Quietly, powerfully. That's when people start noticing. You become grounded, centered, hard to provoke, impossible to manipulate. Why? Because you've taken your energy back. So the question becomes, how do you step into this kind of presence? It starts with waking up to the truth that you're not reacting to reality. You're reacting to your mind's version of reality. The story, the judgment, the meaning you attached. Two people can have the same experience. An insult, a setback, a surprise. One shrugs and moves on. The other spirals. It was never about the event. It was always about the perception. You stop trying to kill the trigger and start learning from it. You ask, what belief just got hit? What fear just surfaced? This is the shift from unconscious reaction to conscious awareness. Picture life as a chessboard. Most people live like pawns, moving automatically, responding to whatever the board throws at them. But awareness pulls you back. It lets you stop playing as a piece and start seeing the whole board. Even better, it lets you rise above the game entirely, watching with clarity, not reacting to every move. That's what real detachment is. Not withdrawal, not indifference. Mastery. You're not shoving your feelings down. You're facing them with such clarity and understanding that they no longer control you. You're no longer tossed around by your inner storms. You become steady, intentional, present. And here's the shift. The moment you stop being ruled by the world starts responding to you. People feel your energy. Your calm becomes contagious. The chaos outside no longer disrupts the peace inside. So next time someone tries to rattle you, pause, notice the reaction rise, but don't follow it, watch it. That space between stimulus and response, that's where all your power lives. And how do you sharpen that skill until it becomes who you are? That's what we'll uncover next.